It's Saturday, 1995, and we arrived here last night at about 11 o'clock. We found to our joy that the floor, which I'm deliberately homing in on now, this is not a mistake, the floor has been, oh, there's Becky's, no it's Alan's Sharonte's slippers. The floor has been retiled. It's caused a few problems on the edges in here. Because the last wall tiles, or skirting tiles you might call them, were slightly larger than the ones they've now put on. But it does mean that this floor is now complete. Oh, there's my mother's rug. Oh, there's the train set because Guillaume and Michael have been here. But it means that the floor is now complete right the way through. We have a pile of tiles, of course, standing in the window. Nothing is ever completed to the point of being put away in this place. There you are. The cottage is very sound. It feels lovely here today. We've got a fire. There's the settee with its cushions on, the table, the posh table and the everyday table. You can hear perhaps Alan and Richard still fighting in the back garden. I've had to wash all the dishes on the shelves because of the red dust when the tiles were put down. Everything was covered with red dust. You can't smell what I can smell at the moment, but in fact there are some Chinese spare ribs cooking in the oven at the moment. The sink, I'm afraid, is full of dishes, as it usually is, but at least these are washed. And there's the little window that looks out on my scene when I do the washing up. Down to the floor again, which, oops, there's some of Sue Hyde's Amway stuff there. The kitchen floor is actually quite pretty. I do like these old tiles. You can tell it's Easter because we're preparing for tomorrow with the Easter eggs. We've given Easter eggs to the children in the village of Negret. I think they think we're most peculiar, actually. Okay, over here I've got my French bread bin. Okay, so when we eat the bread, oops, I'm trying to get the eyepiece right, thank you. The French bread goes in there. Okay, I'm going to walk through, if I can see where I'm going, through to the bathroom. I have my Tamworth sunflowers here, bought from one of my visits into Tamworth with Mary. There were 3, but I seem to have arrived with 2 flowers and a stalk. Don't know what happened to the other flower. The bathroom door now opens inwards. It used to open outwards, which caused us a bit of a problem. In here we have, well, the sink, the usual offices, I suppose, the loo, the laundry basket, and of course nobody can put the laundry quite in it. I don't know what's the matter with my family. It has to sit on the top of it. But we have the working bidet, we have the shower cubicle, you see, and we have le douche, I think it's called. We have the bath, and then we have the cupboard where we keep absolutely everything. I'm going to go right up to the ceiling because it's important to show, ooh, there's a swirly round, that Michel, our friend in the village, has completed the most wonderful lambris ceiling. Bless him. Back in the sitting room, in the corner here, if I can get over here without breaking my neck. I don't know whether you can focus in on a pair of sabots, là. Madame Vergniaud, who must have died, I suppose, 30 or so years ago, wore those sabots when she went outside. And in the fireplace we have, or whatever those are called, cobbler's lasts, I think they are. On the mantelpiece we have Beatrice the duck, and over here the Easter card from Mary, followed by the ducks, and of course if I can swirl around without making everybody feel seasick, it's rather difficult because I can't keep my eye open while I'm videoing. We have the ducks from Anne, my Christmas present from Anne Butler. Thank you, Anne, your ducks are now in situ. Right, I'm going to come back across the kitchen the work surface there. I have the new wooden kitchen roll holder. Lots of the French pots are now in situ as well, which is rather nice. They belong here. Past the Worcester cups and round the corner here, past the chair. The bed where Alan and I sleep while we're down here is actually in this L shape. If I can just show, there's the kitchen and here's the sitting area, and here on this side of the wall is the glass cupboard. Some steps at the moment and some cans of goodness knows what else. It's waiting to go up into the loft area, which is up there. But there's the bed, double bed, very comfortable, traditional French bed, bread. And in the garden at the moment of course has had a lot of work done to it because the grass was up to your waist when we arrived. So Alan's been out here with the strimmer belonging to Chris Carkey. He's actually been strimming all day. There's a fair old acreage out there. Oh, there's Becky as well. They're all having a quick rake around the garden. In fact, Becky's very close over there to some cowslips which we found growing naturally in the garden. I think there's some more over there somewhere, that's right. And the hedge which we cut back is just about starting to burst forth. I'm going to go through to the other window now, so hold on a moment. I'm now in the bedroom where the boys sleep. I'm sorry, I'm far too close in. I should have to go a bit further back. That's it. Good-o. Now the boys are sleeping in the bunk beds here at the moment. This room is a little rough. The ceiling in here is going to be done in the same way that Michelle has done the bathroom. But at the moment we've got a storage cupboard, a double bed, the double bed where Becky's actually going to sleep tonight. We have a heater and a light. We have the bunk beds. We have the Lloyd loom chair. We have the dressing table that Mary and I had a scrub at last summer. And out in the garden again, through this window, we can now see that the boys are busy practicing being pyromaniacs. Well, actually, Rich is more worried about what he's trodden in, I think. All of this hedging material was cut down. Hi Dave, give a smile for your mother, she might want to see you on video. All this hedging material was cut down the last time Alan and I were here. That was February. That was just one patch of hedge, because we've now planted some hedging along there. I don't know if you can see it very clearly. We have planted some hedging along there inside that bramble hedge that belongs to the neighbours. Sorry, I'm not holding this very steady. So the boys are tidying there. Alan and Becky are there. Becky's over by the well.
Yeah. Alan's nearly finished for today.
I should think Alan is finished for today. And we're going to go round to where my other hedge is on that side. Not too bad. The weather today has been glorious, and I'm sorry I wasn't filming during it, but I was too busy concentrating on clearing up the red dust. Okay, that's the cottage as at present.
Richard, you're going to be on video.
Okay, this is, what date's it? Oh, it's Monday the 17th of April. Becky in her shorts. Oh. And Sue's actually working at weeding the dreaded hedge, which has been, oh dear. It's actually working now, isn't it, Sue? Would you like to speak to me, Susan?
Yes, I'll speak to you.
Hiya. Go on then, tell us what you've been doing then.
Right, the hedge which we planted October
Yeah?
has overwintered fairly well. We've lost about 2 plants, but that wasn't through the frost, it was because of the chaps who did the tarmac here. I think they just stepped back and trod on them. I think I've lost a rose somewhere, but I can't find a trace of it. And now it's a bit like digging through, well, it's like digging up elephants really. I'm sorry about the shorts, these are Alan's shorts. I didn't bring any, I didn't think it was going to be this hot. The boys over there are making a rickshaw. It's a contraption for carrying logs to the cottage from our wood pile, and they used it initially to play on and they've broken it, so they're now making Mark II version.
Well, they'll ever work again, is another matter, but they've enjoyed themselves in the sun for a while.
It's been lovely. Been
I hope.
hearing them laugh. Bye. They've been doing a wonderful, was it blockhead and beavis? Bloodhead and beavis. Beavis and bloodhead? Okay, I'll get it right eventually. Alan, meanwhile, has been strimming and
Right, I'll turn around. Oh, here you go. Oh, we'll cut.
mowing. I've got that garden there over there to do, of course. Oh, that's my plant nursery, and it's more weed in here.
Actually, all we've got at the moment is Becky. That's better. Right, there's the dreaded nursery. We dug that about 5 times. But over here, which is now directly into the sun, I think, you can see what the garden was like, and we're slowly getting it down to sort of a well, whatever I was going to do, I'm not going to do now, Sue. That's just ridiculous. But there's the pile that we've got down from the all the wood. Can't just about get it in focus. I think. Obviously means nothing to anybody else other than us. The pool is filthy dirty. All the gruff from the winter has fallen down into it. The wood pile is slowly going down. I can actually hear a cuckoo in the distance. We've got to sort that out eventually. Got to thank Chris Clarkey for the use of his strimmer, otherwise we'd still be we'd be scything or costing us an arm and a leg to hire one.
Here are the boys working. Hold on, I'm just going to get closer.
Oh, have it. Stupid fucking thing. Oh, there's enough food for another one. Oh. No, they're end technically. Now we can cut the end now. How are you going to whack it in the ground, Dave?
Richard, you're being recorded.
Yeah, well, fuck it.
I can't focus this, so bye. Better. Here we are with the men. Richard, smile. Today's Thursday, the whatever it is of April. Richard and David are making a compost bin. Do something. Oh, Richard's going to be stupid. What's changed? I'm going to trip over in a minute, so watch out. Not very good at this, am I? Where are we? Oh, I'll see you in a minute. I'll be like walking away. Richard's looking at a bottle. God knows why. Hold on a minute. Here's today's work. It's meant to be a compost bin. They say it looks better from the other side, but if you ask me, it doesn't look that good at all. But that's me. I always thought a bin was meant to have 4 sides.
You cut 4 of them poles, yeah? So where's the other? Oh, there they are. No, cut another 2. We need them. There's 2 here, look.
Follow Richard round. Get him poles. Who knows what he's going to do now? Mum's made some shoes out of wellies, which you can't see. Uh-oh.
I ain't gonna do you.
There's Richard with his earring. Nothing. Where are we? There he is. Oh, nice shot of the bum there, Rich.
Have you seen the size of this lizard? Yeah.
Okay, it's Friday. And we're going home on Sunday. And our lawnmower has arrived. Alan's sitting there. God knows what he's doing there. The man from the shop, he's an absolutely superb chap. He's agreed to let us pay for this machine in 3 easy instalments. Andre, of course, is very much involved, and Richard and David look more interested in this than they have in most things that have occurred during this week. I think suddenly cutting the lawn is going to have a new insouciance. This is how you cut the grass with a silly grin on your face. It's chucking even more crap into the swimming pool. Our brand new lawnmower, absolutely magnificent. It even has lights, I love that. And his grass is more like straw with the odd bit of clover attached. Oh, here comes the machine. The garden, of course, is taking a little shape. There are a few little shrubs in there now. There's a golden garden there. I've called it a golden garden, and there will be jasmine in about 5 years' time growing around the well. It's leaning. I don't know whether you can see it there. It's leaning against the well. The well actually looks at a crazy angle. I don't think it's the way I'm holding the video straight. But of course the hedge at the back, which we've now reduced from being trees, is now just jumble. And it will take a long time to sort out. There's a bonfire and a half there waiting to be burned. And here we have a little rock garden. I've put some yuccas and the tamarisk in there because that's actually bedrock that they're growing nearby. So I thought it best to make it into a garden rather than let the new lawnmower rip over the top of it, discovering to its cost that it's rock rather than grass. Meanwhile, back to the lawnmower. A very serious business, this. A man at ease with the world, having the first cut. I think he's just going round and round and round the pool. The pool, of course, is filled with beetles and various other bits of wildlife which we ought to do something about. Beyond the men, the Frenchmen, they're striking up deals here and doing various things. There's the orchard, which, and there's the loo belonging to, I've forgotten his name. It's a friend of Andre's anyway, but that's way at the periphery of our orchard, so it's quite a long way away. They are now altering or adjusting something on the video. I'm sorry, on the machine. Sorry, Andre puts me off. He's such a lovely bloke. They were so very, very kind to us. Giselle went into hospital today for some more tests. She's going to have an operation next week for, I think it's a heart bypass operation. It's quite serious. She's obviously quite frightened. Andre, however, continues to give out bonhomie. Well, Aline can start it. Oh, he can reverse it. Scatters them somewhat. I think it throws grass practically everywhere. I can see it throwing out some grass now. Going to be the toy of the year, I feel. Well, with Alan disappearing off there into the sunset, I'll get on with the washing up. Okay, it's now Friday the 21st, and we're now in the cottage because it's dark outside. The evening activities continue. Becky, of course, is reading, as Becky always does. What? There you are. And I was reading. The favourite activity on the table looks like a spot of alcohol, spot of crisps, and spot of reading. Alan's munching away there. He's been reading the manual for the new tractor, which arrived today. It's in 14 different languages. I don't think one of them is English. No. And of course, in the background there, we have the boozers and the gamblers.
The big sting.
The big sting going on. We have David and Richard playing the strip jack naked, I think, with the Ricard. Ah, come on, let's have a little drink of it, please, Richard. Let's watch the face while we drink it. Ah, comes there. Brilliant, good. Just for the benefit of, I'm sorry I haven't actually tidied the kitchen up. There seems to be a hammer on the work surface there, which I can't explain.
I can't, we just brought it in because it's wet outside. Yeah.
Oh. It's just to give some idea of the general clutter of the kitchen. You can see the time there, there's the clock. The kitchen is, well, much like that really.
Different anyway, Dave.
I think it's Tracy Chapman going on in the background there, wailing a bit. I've been playing it, Gillagops, playing it lots to Alan, haha. Okay, so that seems to be that.
What about the doors, the new painted door?
Oh yes, the past the fire, which is burning away nicely there, of course. Nice fire. I love sitting by that fire. The doors, of course, which may or may not show very clearly on the video. It'd be better if that door was shut, actually.
On there.
Right, just to be back on to record again. The frame hasn't been painted yet, but the door, cool, look at that. I bet you're absolutely overwhelmed.
Shall we get underwhelmed?
Yes, and the one this side, if I can wander over without falling over anyone. Whoops. Likewise, we have another door. This one doesn't have a knob on it yet, but I'm sure we'll put that right at the fullness of time. Okay, back over to the peaceful scene over there, and back to the poppies.
What's the drink?
And over, and it's now Saturday, and you can see that the whoops, I've lost him. The lawnmower is still giving great cause for hilarity. Richard and David are now, oh, I can't even see them, they've gone around the corner. Richard and David are now driving the thing. It's a matter of getting used to it and playing with it, getting this out of your system, and then understanding that it goes with some hard work later on. This might rapidly improve Richard's feeling about coming to France, I think. So David had his first go. A bit of videoing, basically for Barbara's sake. That is her son and he's vacuuming. And this is Becky being absolutely disgusting with the bubble gum. Turn round, you little pig. Ici, le petit charreau pour le bois. Richard and David created it out of various bits in the barn. So I'm glad to say that that is now fully functional for fetching the wood. And behind it, the beginnings of the little French garden in the, I think it's a pig boiling pot-ish. I'm now out in the garden, and just to show that here is a Salix contortica which we've put into the grass. Alan's over there, I don't know what he's doing. I've put a couple of berberisses in the corner over there. I've had to put rocks on top of it because the local dog thinks the bone meal that I've put in is just food for him. The hedge along there is looking very, very good. It's interspersed with roses, posts and rails and various bits and bobs to keep local tractors aware of our boundary. We've put a photinus here, Robinia, so that will show lovely red leaves throughout the year. The lean-to is looking pretty good actually. We've cleared out the nettles and all the rest of it, and obviously the logs and bits of wood from the hedge are stored under there. I've also planted a berberis on that corner and an Albertine rose, which I'll go around and show you in a moment. Whoops, sorry, going a bit skew with. The panels there are part of the compost bin which the boys have been making. And the barn and the orchard beyond. I do love that little orchard up there actually. One day it'll be a pretty orchard. Richard's been underneath the trees cutting the grass, of course. But back to the barn, we have the little tractor stored in there. I'll try and walk without killing myself. Actually, it looks like I'm walking backwards, but I'm walking forwards and moving the whatever you call it, telescopic bit. Oh, I can see my own shadow. In the barn, it'll take a little time to adjust in here, I think. You can see the mangers, and beyond it the dairy, which one day may become a kitchen. There's a modern stairway for some reason that goes upstairs to the first floor. The first floor, those timbers would have to come out, they're pretty rotten. Richard actually fell through a couple of holidays ago and badly sort of grazed his back. There's a massive store of tiles in here, which I'm hoping I'll find some purpose for, perhaps in the garden. What, I can't quite imagine. I had some idea that they might make edges, but I can't dig down deep enough to put the damn things in. There's a view through there. The actual dairy, if I can get through to one of the other ones, has a window, look. Plenty of rubbish on the floor, but actually it is a good concrete sort of, sorry, not concrete, a brick. If you're going a bit closer, Susan. It's a brick floor. It would probably have to come up, unfortunately, but it would make an interesting floor for a farmhouse kitchen. I don't think we really do have an owl. I think that's probably Beck. Meanwhile, in the barn, there's all sorts of bits, you know, interesting things that have been abandoned. The stairway's quite a pleasant one, but I don't think it's too safe. There seems to be a door there as well. A window going to the back of the barn and several small, almost like portholes. Here's the modern cart. I'll go back a little bit, that's it. And the lovely cart which we rescued from the woodpile area under the lean-to. It's actually complete. We've got the racked back. I gather it would have been something for carrying muck in. That's the brake there. Here's the, I think it's called a brucelage, but I might be wrong. It's the kind of thing. Bruce. It goes on the back of our little tractor.
Basically a brush.
We'll have to call it Tina Turner the tractor or something. But basically that brush will work on a Beck-Bissell principle and pick up, well, anything you want it to pick up, really. There are some old doors in here, which presumably
the old doors of the barn, aren't they?
were the old doors of the barn. Lots of ancient timber there if we wanted to use something for something. That's the stretcher going across, keeping the two walls somewhat in place. Here we have, well, it's a cage at the moment, and we've been throwing anything that looks like it might have been a utility. There's an indoor toilet there, look, and various pots, so that one day they might have a home. There's a bucket there. You can see the keys in the door there. I'm sorry, I'm up against the sunshine now. The door is a wonderful principle. It shuts like cutting butter at the moment, doesn't it, Al?
Happens so, that's happened so.
We had a hack and slash at it last night, 4 pinos, and we had a hack at the top of the door. If I can just come round this way, out of the sun's glare, there's a bar that goes across to shut, but it was the top of the door there, actually there. I had to cut about an inch or so off the top because it just kept catching on a kind of wavy bit of the beam there. If I wave it around a bit, you'll see where the wavy bit is. And for some reason it wasn't shutting properly suddenly, whereas in fact it's a very, very well made door. It must have shut at some point quite well. It's a nice old door. I like that door. As Alan says, if we ever get to the point of converting this place into a ménage à deux, au toit, then in fact there are several bits of the features here that we'll keep. I'll go now into the dairy, and then you can see what's through there. So I'll just pause for a moment. Right, I'm now the other side of that barrier. There's the window I was looking at. Mary and I spent a lot of time in the summer. She always comes down here to help me sort out my muck heaps. But this is dried manure, and I'm afraid lots of planks because the boys have been taking out the ceiling in here to use it to make the compost bin surrounds. Very complex life out here. But you can see the rings and the mangers here, or whatever they would be called, head holes. And presumably 2, 4, 6 cows would have stood in a row and could have been processed in here. Alan's now through there and he's shut the main door. Wave for the people, Alan. Gooey. And he'll shut that door through there and make our little place safe. Actually, down here there's a seat, I think from a
Part of a plough.
Part of a plough. There is an old plough in the main part of the barn.
Can't see it now.
No, I can't see it now, it's beyond the cart. But there you are. Imagine this as a kitchen, ceiling a little bit higher. Old dressers and old timber. Be lovely. And a fairly large baronial hall really through there. Oh, one day. You can dream, can't you? Right, I'm back out in the garden now. Sorry, I shall wobble about a bit because of the tussocks. Lots of tussocks in this here grass. The log pile which Daniel and Richard stacked in the winter had a fair old hammering, and the blue sheet underneath the old elm ladder there in fact belongs on a swimming pool. I shouldn't really call it a swimming pool, it's a farce. Anyway, I have an Albertine rose right in there somewhere. One day it will go right the way up here and up and over this roof, and the pale apricot-y pink flowers will look lovely against those tiles. I've got a little experiment going on here. This is an area of soil which all I have done is turn it. It took me about 2 hours to do that little square, which must be about 4 foot by 6 foot, that's all. I've just literally turned the turf, and I should probably cover it with plastic if I've got time. Over here, by the white plastic bag, I've taken the top turf off and I've merely turned the undersoil to create a small garden with some caryopteryx there. For the rest of the garden I've got various shrubs in. There's somewhere a veronica there, choicea tenata there, somewhere in there there's a ribes. There's the well, very rotten cover on it at the moment. We've got to do something with that well. I planted a jasmine on the other side of the well. One day it may entwine and look well, pretty impressive, I think, really. It might. Down here, ooh, going blurred, I'm afraid, sorry. I've got a couple of euonymathes. There's a forsythia with, oops, I could almost point to it, couldn't I? Forsythia with some natural cowslips which we found in the garden. There's a Berberis darwinii there with orange flowers. A couple of dogwoods. That one there actually is forgotten completely. Hang on. Pittosporum. Pittosporum? Something like that. And then I put in Philadelphus, viburnum. There are in fact more viburnum and buddleia in the corner over there. And in front of this tree, I like this tree, this old tree here, I've got a jardin de soleil. There's a gorse, and again some of the natural cowslips from the garden. Another euonymus, golden head, and Senecio grayi in there somewhere. I promise I put them in. But then we have a massive bonfire again. We must have burned about a dozen or more bonfires that size. And on the other side of that is the infant hedge. I don't know whether you can see it while I'm wobbling about the garden. Tell you what, I'll stop and come back. Right, I'm here. There's a small hedge here. Owls just tipped it this afternoon. It's looking very well. And it's slightly inside our boundary. Our natural boundary should be the other side where those brambles are. But I suspect that in the fullness of time we're going to have to dig a trough there, or a ditch, because there's a lot of land water here and it does need some sort of drainage. So we've put our hedge a good 6 feet inside our border. And as I say, we planted the viburnum and some buddleias up in the corner up there. I hope ultimately to have a garden that's got butterflies and birds. There's a very friendly robin which keeps coming back towards the well. Oh, there's a man again. Here we've planted a eucalyptus, mainly for its grey-green foliage. I'll endeavour to keep it quite small with the immature leaves. And here, because of the whoops, the surface rock. It literally is on the surface there. We've put a little garden round it. I think I showed it you from the bedroom window yesterday. But it's to stop the lawnmower killing itself. That's fondly called the secret garden there. There's a lovely rose which is taken very well in that corner. And I've also put a cotoneaster and a piece of Virginia creeper. The drain goes down here and out to the road, and those obelisks there are part of the septic tank. I'm glad to say that the willow tree which we put in has taken, and the idea is that this area here will have, this whole area here will have some more topsoil put back on, because at the moment it is a mare, or a marsh. Doesn't look it today, but in fact it is very boggy there. And the idea then will be that there'll be some little stones, petits cailloux, là, to absorb the water, and we might end up having parking space there, or I might be able to put in stuff like bamboo and various other bits and make a bit more of a feature of it. At the moment the ground is very, very rough. There is the rock that one day will end up as a bench for me under my tree. Alan is full of derision about this idea of mine. The fact is that 10 men can't lift it. Here, of course, is something perhaps which might not have been shown on video before. Oh dear, sorry. I shall fall flat on my bum in a minute. Is a little, place, a cave.
That's where I'm going to put them.
Oh, I thought you took the bag from me. It's where Alan will one day, no doubt, have his wine. It's literally like a little cave. Amazing construction when you're in these things. Let me just come in. It's very, very primitive. I can only think that that might have been somewhere for a light. The main beam, which would hold the front to the back, just marches straight through the building and into the outhouse, which is the other side of that wall. And the other side of that wall is the bedroom where the boys sleep. The floor is, of course, rough. It will take some digging out too, because most of these boulders are, in fact, that's what the soil is. And of course there is ventilation here at the moment, because that bit seems to have, tombed. Al says it's not difficult. We've got plenty of rock to put in there, and we could just make it into a window anyway. The new roof carried on over the top of it regardless. Weird construction, these buildings. They didn't take out any of the old timber, they just slapped the new stuff alongside it. Right, I shall go out again. If I can find the doorway. Yes, where you can see how gloriously it's packed under the timber there, because the wall seems to have been a bit missing, so they just slapped some timber in. Okay, I shall go back out. Okay, if you walk then towards the town drain, this is where the water from the cottage would have gone straight down into the village. Andre's car down there. But it would have gone straight down. The white house down there is Andre and Giselle's. The one in between belongs to neighbours who don't speak to us. Perhaps because they're terrified because we're English. A terrifying race. Okay, and then Alan is now in the outhouse, which is the other side of the little place we saw next door. He's sorting out the rubbish from the good. There was a fair amount of rubbish in that wheelbarrow. Here's the eau chauffage, and of course it goes through via pipes and various things to the bathroom beyond this wall. Okay, we keep our bits and bobs in here, including les vélos. Very primitive construction again, but with our new roof, of course, because it's all part of the roof. We actually have electric light in here too, and it works. I've created a small garden here. This rose is a Paul Scarlet. It's not doing very well because the commune seems to have come down the entirety of the line of the town drain and sprayed God knows what. Ah, notre voisine, André et Giselle. Et Gitin. Ici le pooch. Hello. Hello. Well, here we are on our last morning. I believe it's Sunday. David is, well, there he is, in his sack. Richard, give us a little wave. Will you let us know you're there? Rich. Oh, there's movement in the bottom bunk. Richard. Woo. What was that you said to your dear mother? Beep-oo. Look at that. He is there. He is. Well, there you are, chaps. You're on video now. I've now come up the ladder perilous. It's the beginning of a legend. To come into what we call the bedroom, actually. It's hardly a bedroom, as you can see. It's not quite finished. Hang on a moment, I'm going to move the button. Right, that's better. That's now put us an internal light. It's a bit pokey dark up here. Oops. There are two windows, one that side, and one day, instead of there being open beams and the charpente, which I'm sorry to say is covered with stuff at the moment. It's covered with stuff because we're keeping things off the floor, if they matter. On account of the fact that, oops, I've just bumped into some tiles. There are a fair number of mice living in the walls of the house. You can see the breed, that metal clip there. We've had two breed put on because of movement, which probably happened about 120 years ago in the charpente. And this charpente, it's very difficult to give you the impression of it. I'll try and back off a little bit, right. It clearly forms a kind of huge triangle both ways. There must be a mathematical term for this. It also comes down here into a triangle shape. And hanging from it at the moment are some overalls. We have up here the snooker table, balanced very finely on an old camping table. The floor is châtaignier, which is, except from there, Alan repaired it there. Châtaignier is chestnut. I have a lot of junk, of course, up here. Well, it's not really junk, it's our workroom, you see, so we've got the paint and the pump from the swimming pool and everything else. There is, in fact, a small room over here. Room I'd hardly call it, but it does have this doorway. Oops, I shall focus it a little bit, that's better. We have a doorway, quite simple, sort of studded. Whoa, doesn't like it in the dark, you see. Sorry. It'll clear in a moment. It's wood studded with wood. Studded may not the right word, I expect. But anyway, inside here, I doubt if you'll see anything at all. It's the final part of the roof as it goes down over the outhouse. There's a room that must be at least 8 meters by 3, I should think, but obviously going down to nothing at the furthest edge down there, because that's the floor. And one day perhaps, with a bunk bed built in there, it would make quite a nice children's room. But to resume the preamble around the room, this is the other side of the charpente now. There's the other breed. I'm sure you're all thrilled by this. You can see how they've put new timber on old. And over there is a Charentais bed. We purchased it for £20 from a neighbour's hedge. It had been used to block up the hedge. Very simple bed. It does fold flat completely. Monstrously heavy. That's the other window. We had that window, oops, I'll come around here now. We had that window put in. It was just a hole when we came. But there's daylight underneath it, of course. Well, there's daylight practically all the way around. Alan has experimented with this polystyrene expanded stuff to try to block out, you know, the gap between the ceiling, sorry, the roof and the top of the walls is a problem to us. we can't imagine how the hell we're going to fill it. So we've experimented with this stuff and it's turned out pretty well, and it has, where it's been stuck with that kind of expanding stuff, it has stayed. So we have a little more to do. Probably cost us about £200 or £300 to get that job done. The floor up here, that part there, was where the folding ladder came through from what is now the kitchen. Alan repaired that, and this section here that was rotten because the roof had been leaking. Of course we've got the new roof now, but that at least stopped people falling through. And the wood store and everything else, as I said, above there. So that's the charpente, or the very simple carpenter's roof.